Bonsoir tout le monde. J'espère que vous allez bien. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to see you all here tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Lashes Journey, for taking some time out of your very busy night for being here. Thank you to you, Mrs. B, as well. I know the two of you are very busy mothers with two newborn children. So thank you. I know for you guys as mothers, as parents, as wives, it takes a lot for you two to be here. And yeah, the amazing MNG, thank you as well for being here. I don't know a whole lot about you, but I hope we get to know each other and hopefully become friends. Hopefully. And thank you, Trash Can Waves, for being here as well. I don't know if you're still in the chat or not. So this won't be a huge 5 hour live stream. I'm not going to pull a thank you, Kurt Russell, wink, wink, nod, nod. I won't pull a Mrs. B finesse long stream. I know she likes the how does it say? How does TLA say? She likes to do those long strokes. I don't know if I really want to. I don't know if that's a kind of content that I do. Of course, here I am as the one who did a 13-hour live stream, but I think that was definitely my longest most of the time. Thank you, Mrs. B. Yes, definitely hit the like button, folks, and I do hope that you enjoy my content. Yes, but most of my live streams aren't very, very long. It's most of the time. Oh yeah, you make you try to stay. Sure, Mrs. B. I see how it goes. It's okay. We still love you. No, it's look, we have to compete a little bit with each other, right? If I don't push you to the best, it's because I don't like you, and that's not how I roll with my family. If I'm pushing you, if I'm asking for more, it's because I know the quality is there, the quantity is there. Let's go to the max, right? So tonight we're going to be talking about my thoughts, and I will if you guys want to, you guys are more than welcome to come up after a while to talk about your thoughts. We're going all night. Kurt, I hope that's the wife talking for you and not you. But we'll be talking about the poem "The Raven" by Edgar Allen Poe. So I think I can get away with um, playing the actual an audio of the poem, so that way, because I think some of you have noticed that my voice isn't always the best. Sometimes I cough a lot. It happens every year, guys. Every winter, anybody, Natasha Vincent and Wealth Engineering can testify about that, where every winter in Montreal you're gonna get sick, you're not gonna feel as motivated, the weather is a killer. So I've been struggling, to be honest, but I'll push through. I'll push through. So as Canadians, we're not the we're polite, we're nice, but we're tough. You have to be tough to manage the beautiful Canadian winters. So anyways, we'll get on. So hopefully I'll be able to play the audio of somebody reading the original poem. It's not a very long poem. In the book that I have, it's like 3 pages, 3 full pages, or like 3 sides of a page, and then a little bit. So it's not a very long poem. And the reason why I think I can get away with playing the audio of the poem is because it's from Wikipedia itself, and the narrator is reading the original poem. But I will try to pause it as well, so that way I don't risk any kind of copyright issues or anything else. Worst case scenario, if I see that there's a claim on this afterwards, I'll just simply take out the audio from it. So if for those of you who are listening on this on the replay and you hear me talking about an audio clip and you don't hear it, well, you know why. Um, but I'll get into a little bit of my thoughts before. You know what? I'll have my thoughts as I we're the listening to the audio of it. Okay, but just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory of the Raven. Okay, it was originally published, and I'm reading this from the book that I bought because I bought sorry an Edgar Allan Poe collected works book. Okay. So what's good about this book is that they'll present the story and sometimes they'll give a little extra at the end of it as well. So according to the book, it was first published on the 29th of January in 1845 in the New York Evening Mirror. Um, and apparently Edgar Allan Poe was an assistant editor of that newspaper. Okay, so that's a little bit of a tiny bit of a backstory of the story itself. For those of you that don't really know Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm going to get this a lot of this information from Wikipedia, because although I, like most people, I know a little bit about him, but I'm not, in depth, full knowledge, know every last little detail about this guy. So, and I will add the Wikipedia page for Edgar Allan Poe for the poem The Raven, where you'll be able to, just in case, like I said, I have to remove the audio clip from my video, you'll be able to hear the clip there. But there's also a few other links that I'll try to include in the description. So that way, if you guys want to find out more about the author himself or about the poem, feel free to click those links as well. Okay. So basically, he was born, Edgar Allan Poe, on the 19th of January, 1809, in Boston, Massachusetts. He passed away on the 7th of October, 1849. So he was 40 years old in Baltimore, Maryland. So he's relatively young, when he passed away, unfortunately. He did marry his cousin. For those of you who want my opinion about having relations with their cousins, definitely go check out Melissa Jane's live last night. She had a few questions of dating and would you date your exes? Would you date your cousin's ex? So she had me on. Lashes Journey was there as well, but she was also asking those questions to Before the Billions and Wealth Engineer. So shout out to the fam. We always seem to manage to meet each other, so that was an interesting conversation. And her name was Virginia Eliza Clem Poe, so that was his cousin, and he had to get a special license for that, apparently. And again, I'm getting most of this information from Wikipedia, so don't take my word for him. One thing I did learn, because I didn't know, I probably was told, but it was, in one ear, out the other. He apparently, let me go back to finding that line. He apparently, oh yeah, there it is. He, and I quote, is considered to be the inventor of the detective fiction genre. So he apparently can be credited for creating detective fiction. So that's always interesting to find out. Of course, most of his stories tend to be short stories, tend to be very macabre, horror, very on the dark side of things. So he's, I guess you couldn't really consider him as a very upbeat person. And apparently, he was abandoned by his father at an early age. I think actually, the father abandoned the family when Edgar Allan Poe was only 1 years old. And he was taken in by his extended family as well. Sorry, he was sorry. Let me correct myself. He was taken in by John and Frances Allen of Richmond, Virginia, although they didn't formally or legally adopt him. So I guess that's why he's called Edgar Allan Poe. So the Allen comes from the family that took care of him as a child. So John and Frances Allen. Okay, so he has a very eclectic taste from what I saw from the Wikipedia page. So he was interested in cosmology, in cryptography. Sorry, I always have trouble with that word. And of course, there's several awards named after Edgar Allan Poe. Of course, one of them is the Edgar Award. Okay, and it's given out for the mystery genre. Okay, so that's a little bit of backstory about the author himself. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the chat to see what you guys are talking about. Okay, yeah, hit the like button. Hello, Desalie Wilkerson. I think this is the first time I'm seeing you here. I hope that I see you more often, or at the very least, even if this is the only time I see you, I hope that you enjoy this live. Thank you, Trash Can Waves, for being here. Welcome, and I hope you as well enjoy this. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the poem, and then we're going to go ahead and play the audio of it. So it's an audio book of it. And again, I'll put all of this into the description. So that way, guys, if you want to hear the poem for yourself without me blah 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 in way in your ears, feel free afterwards to click in the description and find that audio file because it's fun. And I just noticed that Wikipedia has that capacity of, because for me, most of the time when I go to Wikipedia, it's just like, okay, what's the Latin word for this rose? What's the real name for this particular butterfly? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm not really encountering, Wikipedia pages where an audio clip would be. So I'm like, when I saw that and it was playing, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Because I was hoping, okay, let me find a version where I could actually read it to you and I could get away with it, because I do have the physical copy of the book. But if I do that, because it technically let me see who published this. Give me a second here, guys. So it's published by Canterbury Classics. Now, you guys are going to ask me, like, well, how can you how can you play the audio clip and not worry, but not read from the poem? It's because basically Canterbury Classics, when they publish a work, even if it's a work like The Raven, which is now, in the public domain, they can claim, well, look, we put in time to make certain adjustments to the text. We added text of our own. We, maybe translated it, etc. Right? So they can claim that it's theirs because, well, they're putting their own little stamp on it, I guess you could say, right? They're putting their little fingerprint on it. So even if it's somebody else's work that's in the public domain, when I'm reading from their from their book or from one of their books, I have to really be careful about that and only read excerpts. And I'll actually quote this part. So this is in the front of the book. So it says, all rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying, recording, or other electronic or mechanical methods without the prior written permission of the publisher, except in the case of brief quotations embodied in critical reviews and certain other non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law. Okay, so that's why I felt okay to read a couple of the lines beforehand, because I was simply quoting it and, obviously adding my own commentary, while as the audible or audiobook version of the poem comes directly from Edgar Allan Poe himself, and the person who created it said, I give permission, because there's different types of copyright, guys, just in case you guys didn't know. There are certain kinds of copyright where you tell people, look, I just want to be credited for the work. I don't expect to be paid. I just want you to give me recognition for it, and you can feel free to use it, and I'm good with that, right? So that's where this is, with Wikipedia, they often have that kind of an agreement where everybody can use the work. So if you have, if Wikipedia also contacted me at one point for one of my photos to be published as part of one of their articles. They said, look, it has to be copyright free, meaning that people can use my photo if it's found in Wikipedia, right? And that person that's using my photo has to follow the copyright laws as well. Okay. So that's why I feel comfortable. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to do this, but we'll see. Okay. So we'll play a little bit of the poem. So we'll start, and I'm going to probably have to share. So, is Before the Billions here? Oh, hello, Pure Pondering. Thank you for stopping by. Hello, Before the Billions. I didn't see you come in. Thank you guys for being here. So I'll get into sharing my screen so you guys can hear the poem. All right. So where are you? Sorry, guys. I'm like, I'm well, not that I'm like her, but I like Gail. I have 1,001 tabs open, and I have to find the right one. Here we are. Okay, yeah, that one's shared. All right. So obviously, it's gonna share obviously the Wikipedia page, so you'll be able to read a little bit of their thoughts, Wikipedia's thoughts on the Raven. But hopefully, if you guys will be able to hear it as well, and tell me your thoughts of it. So obviously, you guys, this is the Wikipedia page. So as you can see here, it's 7 minutes. So we'll play the full 7 minutes. But like I said, I will pause so that I minimize my risk of copyright, but I'm pretty sure I can get away with it, especially since, like I said, I'm adding commentary. I'm not using it as it is exactly, right? Okay. So we can see here some of what's going on. So The Raven is a narrative poem by, of course, Edgar Allen Poe, and it tells a tale of a talking raven. Always interesting. So we'll play a little bit, and hopefully you guys enjoy this.
The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more."
So yeah, so as you can see, it's obviously the narrator. Okay, now the narrator in this poem is never mentioned, so we don't know who this person is, right? So assume that the person that you hear talking is the narrator, right? It's a first person poem. Okay. Now I read a little bit of the Wikipedia page, so I kind of, and like I was telling Mrs. B, I had to reread the poem because it's been a while since I've read it, and it's like, I think it's like I haven't read it since, I want to say high school at the very latest, but probably somewhere in like 7th or 8th grade or something, so what you Americans would call middle school, I think. So it's been quite a few years, and I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, who is this? What is he talking about? And to me, these are the kinds of words I'm not used to hearing, because obviously it's in a kind of English that for most of us, this is not common words, right? This is not what we're accustomed to hearing. So it took me a moment to get used to how Edgar Allan Poe writes and the kind of English that he writes in, because we obviously 1800s, that's when he was born and lived. Their English wasn't quite the same as the English we have now, right?
Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer, "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more."
So those were the first four sonnets, if I remember correctly. When you're talking about poems or paragraphs in poems, or sonnets, if I remember correctly, but I could be using the wrong word. So in this part of it, you get the sense that the narrator obviously lost his wife. I hope you guys picked up on that. And he was trying to go to sleep and debating about the loss of his wife, right? Whether it's better to forget the memory of your wife and just move on, or to keep trying to remember your wife or the person that you love. Now, obviously, in this one, they're talking about the wife, but it could really be talking about just about anything or anybody, right? The loss of your parent, the loss of your child, right? How that loss can affect your sense of, do I want to remember this person? Do I want to have the memory of who they are carried with me all the time, everywhere, having to constantly think about this person no matter what, right? And do you want to, I guess, maybe be tormented, by the memory of this person that you can no longer be with, right? They've passed away. You still care about them. You still love them. You still want to share, whatever life you have with them, but you can no longer do so, right? So we're going to continue on here. I'll put it like that. That's a nice view, because it's not the Wikipedia page that we need to necessarily look. So we'll continue on with the next little bit.
Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. And then into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon I heard again a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely there is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as nevermore.
So as the audio was going, I was following along in my version of the book, and as I suspected, in the version that I have, like the printed copy, there is quite a bit that is changed. Like in one of the paragraphs, it says back into the chamber turning, etc., right? So that's part of why, like I said earlier, I have no problems with the audio playing, because they seem to be much more loyal to reading the actual text from Edgar Allan Poe himself, rather than reinvented it and making it something copywritten. So as you can see here, this is when, of course, the raven comes into the chambers and perches himself, and of course the narrator talks to it, and hey, what's going on, why are you here, essentially, right? And of course the raven replies with one simple word: nevermore. And um ravens tend to have, depending on what kind of culture you come from, what mythology you're looking at, sometimes ravens are considered good luck and good omens. Sometimes they're considered as bad omens or bad luck. Oftentimes they're symbols of, because I know YouTube doesn't really like this word. We're gonna use the synonym, and I know you guys are big brains in my audience, so we're gonna say the word cancel. But we all know what that means, right? So ravens are often symbols of cancellation, right? So you could potentially maybe consider the raven here a representative of the narrator's canceled life, right? And that basically the raven is saying, look, I'm not part of your life anymore. We're no longer in a position where you and I can be in a relationship. But as the summary of the poem said, that basically the raven is essentially a poem about memory, right? And do you accept to forget the life you shared with a loved one and sort of push their memory out of mind, or do you dwell in their memory and stay loyal to them and sort of uh, stay in that sorrow of your loss of them, right? And that you're no longer, like I said earlier, in a position where you can have a relationship with them, right? Now, the rest of the poem is interesting because it'll bring it that idea of loyalty of memory to another place, right? And I won't talk too much about it because if anybody watched the live stream for TLA a couple days ago, a couple afternoons ago, part of the issue that there was with his video being taken down was, of course, about self deletion. And I don't really want to go into that because I don't want that kind of topic to put my video at risk. But just know that, okay, there's other parts of this poem that could lead you to that kind of topic. Okay.
But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Wondering at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster. So, when hope he would adjure, stern despair returned. Instead of the sweet hope he dared adjure. That sad answer, nevermore. But the raven, still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bus and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat, engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated over, but whose violet lining with the lamplight gloating over, she shall press. Nevermore.
So yeah, that's definitely a lot there that's can be said and spoken. Like I said, I won't get too much into it because now it's getting into a little bit of the darker side. Yes, trash can waves. I saw your comment. Yeah, sometimes as much as I enjoy clipping other people's content or discussing what other people are talking about as well, you do have to be mindful that there are certain topics that either A are just not appropriate for your own channel, but or B that you don't feel comfortable talking about yourself, or that you are at risk of potentially being demonetized, or YouTube saying, well, we're not going to take down we're going to take down your video because it contains such and such such and such a content. But in the next few paragraphs or stanzas, I'm not too sure what they were called. I can't remember because, like trash can, I think it's typical in Canada and the US where you learn about poetry and the different terminology and American authors and Canadian authors and all that. So I admit poetry wasn't my strong point. So I don't remember all the proper words for, everything involved in poetry. But the next few, that's where he really gets into, he as an Edgar Allan Poe, that's where he really gets into the narrator's let's call it self-awareness, right, and his potential future, right. So keeping that memory going or not, right. So obviously quoth, I had to be like, what does he mean by quoth? And obviously that's the older word or older way of saying quote. So again, I find it interesting where it's a weird dynamic for me. When I hear Edgar Allan Poe, I think somebody that was born, okay, and he was born in 1945 and passed away maybe 5 or 6 years ago, kind of thing. But when I hear Picasso, I'm thinking he was born in the 1800s, right? But it's weird. It's like the other way around, right? Edgar Allan Poe was born and raised in the 1800s, while as Picasso was born and raised in the 1900s, right? So it's like Picasso is much more of my era, but I feel like no, he's an older artist. He's not from our era. He's not from our time. And to me, I the little bit I've read of Edgar Allan Poe, for me, it's like no, this is a guy that's like, he just came out yesterday. He just, all this stuff is just recently published. It still feels fresh. It still feels of these times, even though, because you'll see that a lot. And I remember buying this book that's a historical fiction that tries to pretend to use Old English. So you kind of feel with Edgar Allan Poe that that's what's going on, that when he uses Old English or English that's much more appropriate for somebody being raised in the 1800s, you feel it's more of an act, that it's much more of somebody trying to create a historical fiction that's fairly accurate. But in reality, that's probably how he actually spoke, right? That's probably how he actually wrote, right? Um, so it's kind of like when I reread this, I kind of felt like, oh wait, no wait, it's like I felt a little bit disconnected to the story at first, and it took me a couple times of rereading certain paragraphs to fully understand and fully allow myself to get into that world. Of course, we're going to close that. So that can be, something that when you're reading older works, you kind of have to remember that, especially if it's something from the 1800s, they'll have a certain way of writing that may not be how we would write nowadays, or they'll use certain terminology that, of course, may not be appropriate nowadays. I know there's quite a few authors that often get blacklisted because they have no problems using the N word or other words like that. So it's kind of can be a little bit difficult. Stanza, thank you, Trash Can Waves. Hello, Community Solutions Pro. Thank you for being here. I don't think I've seen you in a while. How's it been, community? I hope you've been doing good. Bonjour, Peter. Bonsoir. Merci d'être là pour me supporter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Merci, mon frère. J'espère que tout va bien. Of course, for all those of you who did not understand the freedom fries, I was just telling Peter, thank you for the support and for being here. And I hope that he's having a good night, because I think Uncle Stu is still technically live with Frank Gooden and a few other people that I know normally would be here, but that because of course, shout out to Frank Gooden. He is going to be doing a show where it's called Life and Death, where he has several people. Oh, I hope your mother's doing well, Community Solutions. And I definitely know what it's like to take care of my mother. My mother does have dementia, early stages. So, I do understand, having to spend some time with your mother to make sure that she's doing well. Thankfully for me, my mother does live in a nursing home and she's very well taken care of. So I don't have to worry too much. But I will be visiting her tomorrow to spend some time. And of course, the holidays are coming up. So, of course, I'll probably be spending a little bit more time with her during my vacation time. Anyways, but yeah, I hope your mother, Community Solutions, is doing very well. And make sure to give her a big hug and kiss from me. Okay. So, yeah. So, where was I? Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought in all of that. We'll go back to the poem because I lost, to be honest, I lost my train of thought and all that. But we're nearly done the poem. There's 3 or 4 more stanzas left, and that's about it. If ever you guys do want to come up, let me know. I did decide, at least for a month or two, to renew my my StreamYard. So what we're going to do, if you guys want to, we'll do a 13th place pony. So while the audio for the last few stanzas go, we'll have you guys participate in tonight's bragging rights that you guys rigged the 13th place pony and were able to rig it in your favor. So I'll just put in the hashtag and you guys can put in the same hashtag. So you can just basically copy paste my hashtag. I'll put it both as a banner and as a comment. So please feel free to participate in the giveaway. As you guys know, it's just a giveaway to have the bragging rights that you were 13th place pony. So I'll just put that now. All right, so everybody, the hashtag to win the prize of bragging rights is going to be Pose Raven. Yes, as you saw, there's two of me, because I just noticed that since I linked, for those of you who want to, I did create a She Stole My Thunder Facebook page. So if you guys do want to check that out, I'll put that in the description. But I'm just having it to have it, and not necessarily because okay, that's oh, I have to. I'm such a big YouTuber. I need a Facebook page and a Patreon sometimes you have things because well, it's important to get some kind of like audience and people saying, hey, come on over here. So I'll also put it as that. There we are. There we go. So Poe's Raven. So feel free, guys. Poe's Raven. And good luck to everybody. Break a leg. So Community Solutions, if you're still here, definitely copy paste the hashtag. And of course, Lashes, if your family, quote unquote, wants to participate, feel free to add them as well. So we'll listen to the last little bit. We have about 3 minutes, so I'll pause maybe a couple more times. So we have a little bit left to go, not too much.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by angels whose faint footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee. By these angels he hath sent thee respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Oh, let me quaff this kind nepenthe and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the Raven. Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil. Prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by a horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the Raven. Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil. Prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul, with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the Raven. Nevermore.
So yeah, I do like the audio version of it because the actor really puts a lot into it and really brings the story to life, right? The little bit of quivering at the certain parts of it, or him almost yelling at other parts, right? Or you get sometimes that sense that he's about to cry as well. Because obviously this is a poem about grief, like I said, about memory, right? The narrator, his wife was canceled. Of course, in this story, we don't know a whole lot, neither about the wife nor about the narrator himself. So we're not really sure what happened, right? We can assume by the sound of the voice that the husband and wife weren't necessarily, they weren't young, but they weren't old either, so you have a sense that the cancellation was fairly premature, right? That it wasn't something that he was expecting to occur, right? This isn't a man or a couple in their 80s or 90s where okay, you know what, the wife maybe had was sick for some time, and she has maybe a couple days left, right? So you do get the sense that this was unexpected and that he truly cared and loved for his now canceled wife, unfortunately. So we have about a little bit over a minute, so I'll let the last little minute play through, and then I'll do the giveaway. And if anybody wants to come up and discuss either the poem or something else, we'll go with that. So I'll let it play, and then we'll take it from there.
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked up starting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door, quoth the Raven. Nevermore. And the Raven never flitting, still is sitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight over him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
So yeah, so that was the audiobook or audible or whatever you want to call it of Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, so as you can see, you can get it from freely from Wikipedia itself. I will be linking all of this in the description. So for those of you that have come in a bit late, don't worry, you'll be able to reread it. As you can see, the Raven is obviously part of Wikipedia, and they have a whole description of the poem and a general summary of what the poem was about, right? So we'll read a little bit here. So the Raven follows an unnamed narrator on a dreary night in December who sits reading forgotten lore by a dying fire as a way to forget the cancellation of his beloved Lenore. Okay, so that's just a basic, intro summary of that. Okay, so obviously it's a poem and obviously talked a lot about in other references as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now I'll stop sharing the screen. I overall liked the poem, although, like I said before, it took a while to get used to the language and the rhythm of it. But after hearing the audio version of it, it definitely made me enjoy the poem a lot more and to kind of, um, remember that like he said very little in the poem, but he also said a lot with that, right? There was a lot of allusions and things that you kind of were implicit and that you had to pick up on. And if you didn't read a lot, if you're not into poetry, could be things that just go over your head very easily, right? So just make a correction, Community Solutions Pro. I'm not sure if you're still in the chat or not, but Poe's Raven should, when you do a hashtag, don't put space in the words, right? So you really want it to be all in one word. Copy paste how Lascious Journey put the word. Because I do want you to be part of the giveaway. Even though it's not a big, huge giveaway, I'm not giving away money. I'm not at that point where I can give away things like that. I hope to one day, but I'm not quite there yet. So if anybody wants to be part of the giveaway, again, the giveaway is going to be for 13th place pony bragging rights. Shout out to Blind Guy, his wife, their life, who of course have their famous first place pony bragging rights, right? Here, just enter me double. Come on, trash can. That's not the kind of rigging we do here. If you want to rig the race, you're gonna have to slip me a few freedom fries, as they say. Come on, trash can. If you're gonna cheat properly. So we'll do the giveaway now. So let me go into sharing the screen with that. And community, if you're still here, please try to re-enter your hashtag. So let me get to the giveaway tool. Here we are. So we'll go here. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Community Solutions. So we'll go now to sharing that screen. So obviously with Blind Guy, his wife, their life, Corey would of course have this whole intro with Laquita and they do a whole thing. I unfortunately don't have the luxury of having a partner. Maybe one day Trash Can Waves will come up and we'll do a whole thing to do, a whole to do, or lashes or somebody. But we'll see. We'll see. So I'll do a nice little countdown from 5 to 1, and on 1, of course, I will click the button. So if you guys have not put in your hashtag, now is the time. I saw one other person put it in. So the hashtag is, of course, hashtag Pose Raven, POESRAVEN, Pose Raven. So if you guys aren't too sure how to spell it, just copy paste how Lashes Journey put it in. Okay. So I saw a seventh, another person. So you guys have, I'll give you I'm talking to give you guys a little bit of a delay here, you know. So if there's somebody that didn't put in the hashtag, now's the time. Pose Raven. Of course, it's for bragging rights as to who rigged the giveaway so that they could have the bragging rights of being 13th place Raven. 13th place winner. Raven, winner, whatever. What's the difference? All right. So I won't delay any further. Oh, we got an 8th entry, an 8th person put it in. Should I give you guys a little bit more delay? Should I talk about the weather here in Montreal? Should I talk about what should I read next? Now I know I scheduled next week. And I keep delaying it. I'm sorry, guys. The fact that I want to read Graveyard by another person put it in. I keep wanting to read the book Graveyard by Neil Gaiman, and it's like I said earlier, it's like I'm having a hard time motivating myself to do a lot of the things I really want to do. But hopefully next week I'll be able to, hopefully, please, dear God, manage to finally read that book and be able to talk about it. But you guys are more than welcome to suggest other books that you think might be a good topic for me to read. Right now, I'm still sticking to horror, to sci-fi kind of books, maybe a little bit of mysteries as well, or thrillers. Okay, so I think I've delayed enough and fooled around a little bit. So we'll get to this whole rigged giveaway and see who sent me just the right amount of freedom fries to get the 13th place win. Okay, so we got 5 ravens that decided that they really liked being here. Then one flew away, so we ended up with just 4 ravens. And then another one decided, well, I'd really rather stay at Lashes. So now we have 3 of them. And then, another one decided, well, I really like Trash Cans. Let me go see him. So now we're just stuck with 2 lonely little ravens. And then one of them looked at the other and said, you know what, you're not quite, the color is off. I'll go see Community Solutions and spend some time. So of course now we have one raven who said, well, I'm too lonely here, so you know what, just click draw there. Trash Can, Natasha, Community Solutions, Lashes Journey, blood battles, oh my god, she stole my thunder. Lashes Journey, yay, congratulations, or should we say congratulations? How dare you, Lashes? You see, congratulations to her, huh? She had enough intelligence. You see what happens when you're the manager, you get to rig it properly. Congratulations to you, Lashes Journey. You're tonight's winner of the giveaway. So you get to now go brag to all your friends that you rigged tonight's giveaway. Bonjour, Natasha Vincent. Thank you for being here. And thank you to, because I sorry didn't read your name properly, Blood Battered Wings. Hello, thank you, sir or madam, for being here. And I think Blood, this is the first time I'm seeing you here. So I hope that you enjoyed what you heard. Now, for those of you who want to come up, you don't, guys, as usual, there's no pressure. If you really don't want to come up to the panel, you don't have to. But hopefully you do. But again, no pressure, no worries. So let me press that here. Okay, there we go. So If you guys want to come up and spend a couple minutes talking about the poem or just about whatever, or maybe you have a suggestion, feel free. But again, no pressure, guys. You don't have to come up if you don't want to. I'm gonna have to figure out because I keep doubling up. So when you see Facebook me and YouTube me, it's just me doing it once and not twice. He's a good guy. Okay, Trash Can. If you say he's a good guy, I'll take your word and assume that he's a good guy. All right. So Pure Ponderance, thank you for being here as well. And of course, congratulations to our favorite and chatter and my favorite manager, Lashes Journey. In fact, while I'm thanking, because you can't thank people too much while I'm waiting to see if somebody comes up or not, I'm going to put my nice little thank you for Lashes. And I will have to revamp this because, it's going to make it a little bit better. Oh, why won't you play? Ah.
Hey. So that was my coming to America story, guys. I hope you like it, and that's it. It's a blessing to be here in America.
So thank you again, Lashes, for all your support, whether it's being here. Hey, Kareen, how you doing? We were reading. You missed the whole show, Kareen. But it's okay. At your age of 21, it's hard for you to keep track of time. We understand. No, I kid, Kareen. I love you. But no, Kareem, we're listening to the audio version of the poem Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Um, I will put in, you know what? Because I know that you guys probably do want to have it now. What I'm going to do is I'll put in the link uh, for the page, the Wikipedia page. So that way, Kareen. Sorry, Kareen, you missed the giveaway too. You're really at the last. I'll change it now so to avoid the confusion. 1 second, Kareen. There we go. We'll change it now. Kareen. What are we gonna do with you? But it's okay. We love you. So the link I'm gonna put in is for the Raven, okay, by Edgar Allan Poe. And the reason why I'm putting in Kareen is because I played the audio version of it from Wikipedia itself. So that was really enjoying. Oh, you're in the background still. Thank you before the billions. What you cooking, huh? Can I have some? Can Karen Kareen have it? Come on, you sharing? You're cooking enough for everybody at least. So I hope you enjoyed it before the billions. I have to figure out why it's doubling it up. Okay, I'm going to delete one of the comments. So, anyways, so yeah, so that's the link to the Wikipedia page, and you'll be able to listen to the audio version of the book, of the poem, I should say. So that was definitely an interesting listen, Kareen. I think it's worth it, and I'll have to look into it because obviously Edgar Allan Poe has quite a few poems and short stories, etc. And I'll have to see if you're behind on the stream, you poor girl. Yes, it's okay. Don't worry. I know sometimes that happens to Adrian Nash as well for some reason, unfortunately, the poor girl. But yeah, I'll have to see if there are others of the poems and short stories from Edgar Allan Poe that have that audio version of the story, because I found it really interesting to play it, and it also adds a little bit to the experience, because as much as I don't mind talking about the book, it's often fun to hear it being you know talked or spoken out loud and so forth. And especially now that my voice is getting better, but every once in a while, my throat goes out on me at this time of the year. So it's nice to have somebody else talking without necessarily taking away from the experience. And of course, Angel is my favorite troll of the night. Oh, thank you, Trash Can, for taking care of that. I saw. Oh, you're internet famous when you get these trolls coming in, saying a whole bunch of nonsense. But of course, that was just one of those generic, hey, go over here kind of links, and it's craziness. But yeah, no, it's an unfortunate pure pondering that your computer died. But I'm glad that you're back here. Um, do you guys want me to continue having these kinds of conversations where it's like I have, because there's other poems from Edgar Allan Poe that I'd have to look into it, where like I would play the audio version of it. Like, is that something that you guys think is worth it, or do you guys just want me to be blah 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 talking and just saying, you know what, I'll put it as a poll. So you know what? I'll just go into my own music for a second. That's a good thing here. 1 second. Let me find my own music as well. Because again, copyright, you have to be careful with that. Very tricky. La 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 la. As you can see, I'm a wonderful singer. Not, that cough. There we go. We'll do this one here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, Trash Can is he's on the ball. He's quick. He sees things before anybody else sees things. So I'm just gonna share while I do the poll really quickly. I'm not as quick in multitasking as before the billions. So sometimes I need to do this in order to get what I want. So there you go. So I put up the poll, and it's simply just, do you guys want me to include the audiobook when possible? Keyword there, guys, when possible. Because as much as I would love to have 1,001 audiobooks and, of whatever book or poem or whatever, I do have to be mindful of copyright, and making sure that the book itself is in the public domain, etc., etc. So that's why I kind of wanted to go with Poe, because I know his work is technically considered public domain. So even if it's just me reading the original version, or having somebody like Vaughn or Big Time Mike that have the kind of voice that you want to listen to, maybe invite them, to read one of the poems or something, I could manage to do that, right? So we'll see. We'll give you guys a couple minutes to answer that question. Oh yeah, it's true. I keep forgetting, Natasha, that you're not you're wiser beyond your years, but I think you said that you're 19 or something like that. So um I remember being 19. My goodness. It was just last year. No, it's been a couple more years since I've been 19. I wish it was only a couple of years ago that I was 19. But 18. No, yeah, you had to go with me. I don't want to be more age difference between you and me, Natasha. That's it, Natasha. You're 22, okay? You and Kareen are both 22, whether you like it or not. Yeah, 19 was a fun year, especially here in um we were getting reduced by 1 year. Yeah, no, here 19 is a good age because it's legal drinking age here in Quebec. So definitely enjoyable time. But I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have because at 19, I was very short and very skinny. So even with my real ID, there was no way people would believe that I was 19. Even at 18, I was still being confused for a 12-year-old. So, I really had to wear a certain kind of top or something to really show the girls coming out. And people then looking at me like, yeah, no, she's not. She's not 12. She's not 13. So, yeah, yeah. Our little baby Natasha. Oh. But no, one time, Natasha, you and you, me, and Wealth Engineering we'll have to get a beer all together and or uh, go go to a couple museums together. Yeah, she's a very all Montrealers are very beautiful trash can ways. Don't you know that? That's actually back me up on that. All us Montrealers we're all beautiful people, men and women. We're all attractive. Nothing but gorgeous people here. That's why she stays young and looks young because black don't crack, black don't crack. So, anyways, since nobody's gonna come up, that's absolutely fine. Like I said, I'm not here to force anybody to come up. Trash can. You're lucky I don't have the habit of just clicking on the people's comments to and show it. My goodness, trash can. What we're gonna do with you? Really? Wow, good stuff. See, trash can waves. If you do this kind of comment, then I have no problem bringing it up. Okay. Yeah, definitely, Natasha. We'll have to meet up and take a time around and enjoy ourselves, have a good beer, especially now that things are relatively normal, right? So, the chat's been going on. This has been going on for about an hour. So, since nobody wants to come up, which, like I said, guys, is absolutely fine. I'm not here to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. I'm gonna call it a night. Okay. So I'll end the poll actually before I forget. Da, da, da. And as usual, of course, since I have the habit of Gail of having 20,000 tabs going, I had to find the right. So we'll end the poll. So 80% of you guys said that yes, you would like it to continue. And I did see your comment earlier, Trash Can Waves, that it was a nice addition. So out of the 5 people who voted, 80% of you, my math is off. So I think that's one person that said no. 1, maybe 2. Again, don't depend on me for math, people, please. You can count on me for French, but not math, please. Please just don't. And even French, please don't count too much on me. Okay, but hey, okay, so whenever I can, I will try to include the audio version. Lashes is too late. Tough luck. I already said good night. Too bad. No. It's too early. You spent We spent an hour together here, guys. Come on. Don't you guys have enough of me? Lashes, don't you have your kids to take care of? Come on. What do you want? What do you mean? Don't go. It's too early. Trash candy. That's it. I'm taking your wrench away, trash. You dirty for that. My goodness. Oh yeah, yeah. Now look at Lashes using her other account to. That's it, trash can. Next time you have to come up as well, trash can. If you're gonna put in the link, you at least have to come up. But Natasha, apparently, since of course I can't leave now that Lashes is actually on the panel, so I'm not gonna actually leave. But Natasha, you're more than welcome to come. Trash can wave. Next time I'm going to do something to you. So, all right. Hello, Lashes Journey. How you doing?
Hello, my friend. I am doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your poll. Good night, chat.
Hello. How dare you come up here and delay this? Huh? Don't you have other things to do?
I do, but guess what? Kurt is watching
What?
for the first time. He over there on his phone.
Oh, okay.
And he's standing
Oh,
really
it's
here.
really him.
I
Okay.
know. I was like,
Okay,
oh,
fine.
trash can wave draw you out tonight.
I
Yeah,
know.
he's really engaged. So I'm like, okay, don't end it. He can never go on.
Okay. So since you're here for Kurt, not for me. Okay, fine.
Oh no,
We'll
no, 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 no.
continue. I know. It's okay. I tease you. You know that. I have to tease my manager. Hello, the
Yeah,
amazing M and G. I'm glad to see you here. So yeah, so were you able to listen to the audio that I played, or not at all?
I was listening and
You were
cooking
listening.
and doing everything else, feeding the baby and all that.
Of course, of course. That's why I was like, "Why you're the busiest one of us? How you want me to stay here and talk with me and being on the panel, and you have your husband and the kids? Da, 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 da. You're too busy to be on a panel doing a live with me. What is
It's
this?
okay. I don't want the live to keep going. It's a lot of us in here that like to hear your voice. You keep us
The
entertained.
lies. Yeah, I don't pay you enough to lie like this to be in the. No, but no. Thank you for being here. Thank you. But what did you think about the poem? Did you like it? Did you
I
find
do
it
like it.
weird? Yeah. It
No,
was
I do
good.
like it. It was
Like
good.
what? Yeah. What did you like about it? Like, was it I like the narrator, like the voice of the actor that was actually doing it.
Yes, I like that. And
Yeah, go
Kurt,
for
you're into behind.
it. But yeah, and like
I'm
what
hearing
did what
myself on Kurt's phone. I'm sorry.
no worries.
Kurt,
No,
turn
yeah,
it
no,
down.
sometimes it's a bit of distraction. I have to remind myself too sometimes, okay, turn
It's
off
okay.
this, turn off that, go here, go there. But no, it did did you get any kind of like quote unquote imagery from the poem? Did it make you think of something in particular, or
Not really. It just made me think of ancient days. You know those movies.
no? Yeah. Like I haven't seen a lot of those. The was there like a particular movie that you thought of when?
Not really.
Okay. Well, no, that's fine. I mean, look, because for me, it's like, especially since Edgar Allan Poe is, of course, a lot in used as a reference. So, I know there was what's his name now? He's a pretty famous American actor who did quite a lot of movies, and he was in a live action movie of the Raven. But I often that's part of why I want to pick because it's like there's another poem with the Raven where it's like that same tapping at the feet at the floor, and it's just interesting that it's the what I had said before, where ravens often are bad omens, right? Or they're omens of cancellation, right? So it's like there's stories there that to be told, and how with he really brings out. He says a little, but a lot at the same time, right? It's not an accident that he picked a raven and not a mockingjay, or I don't know, a blue jay or something else, because he knew with that one symbol he could say a lot. What do you
Yeah.
think? Did you ever like hear like, I know you grew up in Jamaica. Like, do you guys read a lot of like American books? Like, have you ever heard of Edgar Allan Poe, or was it until like you came to the US that's when you heard about him? Oh, looked like she dropped out. Oh, thank you, StreamYard. Always wonderful. Kurt, or I don't know if she's still logged in or what have you, but I assume it's probably because sometimes StreamYard as well acts up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to get to as well, is the Telltale Heart. That there's a lot of those references that he often recycles, quote unquote. Oh, here she is. All right, so we'll bring her back up. Hello, hello. Oh, sorry, pure pondering.
Hey, I'm
Hello,
sorry
yeah.
about that.
No
They
worries,
kicked
no
me off.
worries.
I
I
was
know
about to.
sometimes it happens quite often with StreamYard. That's why I was like, when you weren't responding, I'm like, oh, okay, oh, it was, yeah. But yeah, no, it happens too much. That's a one little nuisance with StreamYard, is that it often kicks people off for no reason. But anyways, I'll repeat the question because I'm not sure at what point you got kicked off. Um, but at what point, like, because I know you grew up in Jamaica, right? Do you guys know about a lot about American culture, American authors, like, or did you just come to the U.S. and that's when you started hearing about Edgar Allan Poe and all these other American authors?
As before, when I was back home, no, I did not know a lot about American culture.
Okay. So have you?
Yeah,
Is this the
since I
first
came.
since you came here? Yeah. Is this the first time you've heard of Edgar Allan Poe, or have you heard
Yes.
about him beforehand?
No, it's
Yeah.
the first time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, if Trash Can Waves were to come up, apparently he loves Edgar
I
Allan Poe,
know.
but no, he's a very well known author here in Canada as well. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, he is an American author, and like I said at the beginning, he writes a lot about horror stuff, and there's a lot of quote unquote work about cancellation and so forth. So it might not necessarily be for you. It's very, very dark kind of writing, but if you're into horror, if you're into mysteries, it can be interesting. And the one thing I did learn was that he created detective fiction. So he's the one that apparently all those detective stories, we can credit him apparently for that. So that, I don't know if that's interesting to you or not. Uh, Trash can, you're at work. Sure, sure. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I think you're too much woman for him, Lashes. So he's intimidated and doesn't want to come up. But it's okay. We
I'm
still
waiting
love
on
you.
him to come up.
I know,
Or Karine, she probably know about that. How about
she might.
Karine coming up? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but she's one of your fellow Jamaican sisters too. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think yeah,
But she
you.
knows a lot more than me. She knows a lot.
Oh, you're no stupid woman. You're no spring chicken. You're a woman of experience and knowledge. You probably could kick my butt, but in real estate knowledge. So
I know.
So you got any plans for tonight, or other than just sitting here and chit
No,
chat with
we
me?
just no, we just said we're gonna go 5, 6 hours with you tonight. We're rocking with you tonight.
Listen, don't start acting with me the way I act with Mrs. B Finesse, okay?
Where's Big Time Jum? I
I don't
haven't
know.
seen him.
I know I haven't seen him in a couple lives either, but he might be busy, and it is the holidays too, so I assume people are on vacation and spending time with
Yeah,
their family and all that. So
yeah,
you
and it's
know,
probably like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning right now in England.
yeah, exactly. So I don't expect everybody to
Hmm.
be up all the time everywhere, and that's how it works in the live streams. Sometimes you're in, sometimes you're there, but I see him most of the time when I have my chats when my lives are at like 7, 8 o'clock. He tends to be there, so it's not so late at that time for him. So, anyways, yeah. But you should, what? If you really want to quote unquote have the live continue, you should go live and show us your fireplace. Have you finally cleaned up the area?
Um, let's see. Yes, it's cleaned up. We just need to finish the baseboard.
So that's what. Okay, so we're gonna close this live in five
No, no,
minutes,
no.
and
We're
that's what
staying
I
over
want.
here.
Okay, come on. We're not, all right,
We're staying
for
over
the,
here.
yeah.
So,
I'm gonna have to do like Pure Potter and get some chocolate or something. But yeah,
so what you guys
8:50.
do in Canada? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What
no
you
worries,
guys
no worries.
do in Canada now? Like, oh, it's so cold on the weekends.
It's the kind of activities I'm not allowed to talk about here on the live.
Oh, I was
Okay,
wondering.
hint, hint, wink, wink. No. It's we do our best to keep warm. Look, it's I'm really grateful. I had my boss like he's like, your coat is horrible. You need to get a new coat. So I got
Uh-huh.
one of those coats that are like literally meant for like -30 weather. Well, 30 degrees Celsius, right? So you definitely make sure to have a nice warm coat and a nice warm boots. I do have to get a new pair of boots. Been swearing to myself to get a new pair of boots, but gosh, boots here are expensive, and right now, my money does not allow me to do much. So, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But luckily, thankfully for me, the other part is that you try not to spend too much time outside. You could always get hot cocoa and do like pure pond and get their chocolate in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you try to trash can. Of course, that's how it meant to be sounded. Trash can. Take the hint, trash. Um, but yeah, it's. I mean, I remember growing up. You didn't bother the cold. The cold didn't bother you as much because you're outside playing hockey. You're outside running around as a kid. As an adult, where you're maybe waiting at the bus stop, or you're walking to work or something. All of a sudden, the winter tends to be a lot colder, so you really try to minimize the amount of time that you spend outside, right? So it's like you really try to get in and out of places really quickly, and that's really one of the things I really like about Montreal is because Montreal has what's called the underground city, and it's several kilometers worth of shopping malls that are all connected underground, and you could literally spend an entire day literally not seeing outside or barely see anything outside, and you could go from like I think it covers maybe 3 or 4 metro stations or subway station, however you want to call. Um, so yeah, you can do your entire shopping. You can watch. It connects to one of the major movie theaters. There's plenty of restaurants, plenty of stores, and all that. So, you're really if you plan your day properly, you're really not spending a whole lot of time outside, um, and you really could just go wear something fairly light, and you'd be fine.
Oh,
Trash
that's
can.
cool.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, it's fun. It's great. Yeah, Trash Can. I think they shot down quite a few movies in Montreal. I think one of the opening scenes of John Wick 2 where was shot in Montreal, where you see them going in front of the Victoria's Secrets. That's downtown Montreal, and that's actually part of downtown Montreal that connects to the underground city. Uh, so yeah, oh yeah, definitely lot of movies being shot underground per se. So yeah, for sure. But what about Jamaica? How was life in Jamaica? Jamaica, come on.
It's life in Jamaica. It's hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot there. A lot of yeah, a lot of outdoor activities. I'm from the country, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have much to do, but go on the farm.
Yeah, of course. I look,
So we do a
and
lot of farming there.
of course, I could imagine. I could imagine. So, when are you buying a ticket for me, Trash Can Wave, Pondering, and everybody else to go to your family home and show us around?
I think I'm gonna hit the jackpot next year. I think so.
Next year, okay. So you heard that, guys. We just have to hope for her to win the jackpot, and she's bringing us all down there.
Yeah.
No, we kind of have to not do like excuse me, not like TLA where he was like, yeah, I'll pay for your meal. What Fuego de Chao or whatever that restaurant. Apparently, people started asking, yeah, pay for my hotel, pay for my. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's why I cancel it. That was one thing.
Yeah, that part is like, no, you guys are you guys are a little too much, you know. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I know it was too much. It was too much. It's like, come on, like some of these people are looking at them like, come on, like if you knew you couldn't afford the plane ticket to go, why did you say yes? I mean, come on,
I know, right?
It's crazy. Like, and he made it clear, like, look, it's just for the free meal here. I don't mind doing that, but like, come on. So to
I know,
answer
it's
your
funny.
question, yeah, I know it's really funny. To answer your question, Pure Product, I don't think there was an alien movie that was filmed here in Montreal, but there's a lot of underground movies being filmed. So, anyways, they thought Trash Can. Okay, I'll put this one up here. They thought Lead was an attorney. They forgot he was a black attorney. Yeah, for sure. We don't mess around. We don't mess around.
I know you don't play.
My goodness. I know that's like, like I get like why would people like you want to see what the person is willing to do. Like I get asking, but it's like come on, like he's offering you a free meal and you're like, "Yeah, what about the hotel? What about this? What about that?" It's like, "Come on." Like
I know.
if you're gonna ask for more, at least be reasonable about it. Like okay, like
Mhm.
when you say free meal, do you mean like $30 or do you mean $40? You know what I mean? Like but don't start asking for like I'm gonna give you a free meal. Here's a plane ticket. Where's the plane ticket? Like wait, what? Come on now. Like don't exaggerate. When you want more, don't just ask, be discreet, at the very least. Be smart about it and but still. Especially when the person's doing a party for like 30 I think he said
Yeah,
what, 30 people, 40 people, something like that. It's like, come on.
yeah. And that was nice of him to want to do
Not
it.
yeah, at least,
So
so
guys, everyone in the chat, when I get to 100,000 subscriber, I'm taking you guys to Jamaica.
there you go. You heard it here first. Yeah, 100,000. We're bringing Lashes journey to 100K tomorrow, guys. Okay, so spread the word. Pure Pondering and Trash Can Waves. We'll get her to 100K tomorrow. I'm tired of these cold winters, guys. Come on, I need the Jamaican sun right now, man.
But you can move to Florida.
No, I said Jamaica. Don't cheat me. I
You don't
want
like
Jamaica.
Florida?
No. I've heard too many rumors about Florida. I'm not too sure I want to meet the gators and all this, and all the wild animals you guys have there, and some of the. I should look it up because there's always you have these stories that always start off with Florida man, and it's just a crazy mess of stories
Oh, really?
about. Yeah. It's become a meme. Do you know what a meme is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's become a meme basically, and apparently, if in certain cases, it's to the point where if you put in Florida man and your birthday, you're almost guaranteed to come up with a crazy story kind of thing.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, apparently, I don't know. I'm doing that now just to see what comes up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, nothing too interesting. So
It's kind of like Jamaica here. It's hot.
yeah, but it's not just about the heat, though. It's like the culture. It's about the experience. So it's it takes a little bit more. And especially for
If you
me
want to
being
go there,
cute.
though, I'm sorry. If you want to
Yeah,
go
go
there,
ahead.
I'll fly you there next year. If you want to go there, let me know what month. Because we're actually going there about in March.
Okay, cool.
How much is the ticket? As long as the ticket's not over 700.
Oh well, from Canada, you're like that 700. I'd be lucky. I'd be lucky if I
How
got
much is
that.
the ticket?
I'd have to look it up. That to be honest, I'd be especially if you're talking about March. Let's see, 1 second. I'd be surprised if it was less than 1,200.
Oh my goodness, 700
Yeah.
we can ride. We can
Oh,
rock
okay.
with 7.
I got you. But let me see. Plane ticket.
But you don't have to worry about the Airbnb. We got that covered.
Okay, good. Montreal to Jamaica. Yeah, la, la. Let's see. We're gonna
You
go.
could just have the
Yeah.
bread and breakfast. Yeah.
Come on. Montreal. Come on.
She doesn't want to meet the gator boys.
Come on. And why are you not cooperating? There we go. Oh, what? I'm going to ask the very stupid question. What's the capital of Jamaica?
Kingston.
Kingston.
So
I'm like,
you'll fly into. You
yeah.
can put in just put in Kingston, Jamaica. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm like, okay, I can't just put Jamaica. I have to put the city. And I figured, okay, we're flying into the capital. But I'm like, what's the capital
There's only
again?
2 airports there. You have Kingston and you have Montego Bay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and here in Montreal, you only have.
I know of.
Yeah, exactly.
Kurt said there. I only know of 2, but I don't think there's no more anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to see
What
what
land
Eric.
in Principal, Kurt? The Prime Minister land there. Nobody else. Oh. Okay. You have Kurt Airport there.
Oh, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, actually.
How much is it?
Economy would be 2 ways, $356 Canadian. Premium Rouge, which I imagine is that the first class is $684. So it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, cool.
How much is it? I'm sorry.
$356 if you go economy.
To go to Jamaica?
Yeah, from Montreal to Kingston.
$300?
$356 Canadian. So it's probably something like 250, 300, and I assume this is before taxes. Oh no, wait, sorry, that's one. Yeah, that's one way. So it's 356 to go, and then it's probably another 356 to come back, kind of thing.
That's not bad.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, because I was thinking, business, exactly 684. So yeah, sounds not bad. Okay.
That's not bad.
Not too bad. $20 Canadian, American. Trash can. Especially our money is very colorful. Have you ever seen Canadian currency? What it looks
No, I've
like?
never seen it
No.
before. Mm-mm.
Okay, let me go look that up. It's very colorful. It's very pretty. Especially now they
Yeah.
made it into it's a blend. It's not made out of the cotton paper kind of mix anymore. It's more of like a plastic looking thing.
Really?
So yeah, it's more durable apparently. Yeah, it's more durable that way as well. So there we go.
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
I've never seen
exactly.
it before. Have you
Yeah.
get trash can? Trash can probably seen it before.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's used to it. He's used to spending the Canadian currency. There we go. We'll go with that one. And I'm gonna go back here to share. Da, 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 da.
You said somebody said it's priceless.
It's priceless to me, that's for sure. Yeah, so this is the Canadian currency. Nice and colorful. Are you seeing it or not yet?
Yes, I'm seeing it
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly.
Oh wow, it is colorful.
Yeah, very pretty. We were rainbow before rainbow was politically correct. Yeah.
Wow, I like the 20, the green.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously the queen is on all of the currencies. And the $10 bill, they changed this guy with I forgot her name, but they wanted more black representation, so it's been technically changed. So of course the 20, we have our beautiful Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth on the bill. And let me see. Oh yeah. And then of course we have our change. So we have the dollar bill, the dollar, the toonie, so loonie and a toonie. And then of course the 50, I don't think technically it circulates, so this one is more of a for a collector's kind of thing, Well as and technically there are no more pennies in circulation as well. We got rid of our pennies. So yeah, so that's our beautiful Canadian currency. Isn't it lovely? Aw. Yeah,
Yeah, I like it. They're pretty.
yeah,
Mm, very colorful.
yeah. Canadian money gets mixed in. Yeah, no, I don't think Canadian currency gets mixed in very well with American currency trash can, especially nowadays since it's like I said, made out of different material. Uh,
Oh, you said you've been to Canada before. Cool.
yeah, exactly.
What you do? Drive across their trash can, or you flew?
No, that trash can waves. He's too rebellious. He probably just walks down there and just
Go across the border.
exactly barges in. I'm American. I'm no, but no, of course. Yes, Kurt Russell. Yeah, it's definitely the queen. Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
it is.
Yeah,
Oh, Curtax. Okay.
yeah,
So it's the same queen as England.
yeah. The same one. I know. Not
Oh,
our
really?
clone. Yeah, she's on the currency of quite a few countries actually.
Mm,
And a lot of people don't realize that technically Canada is still a British colony officially, which is why you
mm,
have, Kurt, Canada was colonized by, well, the long history. I'll obviously make it very, very brief here, but technically we were colonized by the French first, and then the British took over. So, and then it was, yeah, no, Canada. Yeah, we're still technically a British colony. We just asked nicely to be our own country. But basically, any country that was a British colony but still has a governor general, they're still technically a British colony. So we have a
mm.
governor general, so we're still technically. So for the most part, like whenever we come up with a new federal law, the queen has to sign and agree to it. Most of the time she does, but yeah, every once in a while she still technically can reject, and she can use her power if ever Canada were or England were to go into war. She could say to Canada, "Okay, send me X amount of soldiers and so forth." Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. I learned something tonight.
Yeah, I'm not just a pretty voice,
I know that. I know that for sure.
All right, good.
You and Wally.
Oh yeah, we know a couple of things.
Wally, you are trash can.
Yeah, you are. Wally. No, Wally's a smart guy too.
Yeah, Wally too, yeah. But Wally not in here. Trash can. I'm calling
No, I know it.
Wally
Exactly.
not here tonight.
Exactly. Trash cat here. I'm not kneeling to no king or queen. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You kneel to me every day. I know I'm your queen, trash cat. I know it's okay. Don't worry. I kid.
Like go.
Yeah, no, we've had a couple issues pure pondering with our last governor. She was causing a little bit of havoc, a little bit of trouble. That one. Let me see. Let me look that up actually. Because I see her face, but I can't remember her name. Governor General Canada. Is that really? Oh yeah, Julie Payette. She was our before last Governor General, and she was actually an astronaut for Canada. And but they removed her because let's just say that she apparently, and I don't remember the full story, but apparently she was creating a toxic environment for her colleagues, and yeah, not making the workplace very enjoyable. So they cut her time as governor general short. I think usually it's a 4-year position, and what they've been doing for the past I think maybe 20 years is they'll have one female then a male, one female then a male, so that they try to make it more equal and more fair for everybody, and they try to get people that it's a post that technically the Canadian government nominates the person and the queen approves, if I remember the procedure correctly. But I have to look up the detail as to how that works exactly. So yeah, so
Cool.
Julie Payette, yeah, she was causing quite a bit of controversy. I thought pure pondering. Yeah, there's quite a few politicians and so forth that they tend to. Most politicians, I don't trust them for the most part. All right,
Are
my
you
dear.
Canadian too?
Me?
Your panda?
Oh, pure pondering. Okay, I'm not too sure if he's. I think by the sounds of it, I don't think. Let's see. What is he
Wally,
saying?
we move into not Wally. I keep calling him Wally. Trash can we move into Canada?
You're moving to Canada? Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think Trash Cat is moving to Canada anytime soon. I think he likes his Michigan a lot. Yeah, he's American. There you go. I'm like, I don't think he is. But
Okay. Well, thank you. Oh, yeah, he's American.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
too cold in Canada though. That's
Yeah, but that you have a husband. You have ways of, keeping warm. Come on. You know. No,
You have to put
Canada's
beside a fire all the time.
yeah. Well, that's why you have that fireplace, right? Keep yourself warm. Come on. No, I mean Canada, like any other country, it's not for everybody. It's not. It's fine. I like it. I enjoy being Canadian. I think just like a trash can wouldn't want to be living in Canada. I wouldn't want to be living in the U.S. The U.S. is a great. Don't get me wrong. You guys are wonderful people. Great place to visit and so forth. And I definitely, especially when the borders open, I would definitely love to spend a little bit more time visiting the museums. But just the cost of healthcare alone, I don't think I would want to live in the U.S. Like, I don't want to be sick and then it costs me like $3,000 just to get like, a test for whatever. I just no, thank you. I don't want to deal with that. It's okay. I'd rather
Also,
pay.
healthcare is free.
Well, free. I mean, you pay for it through your taxes essentially, but rather than paying $3,000 in one shot, you're paying $5 here, 20 cents there, all that kind of stuff. Health insurance, though, trash can doesn't cover everything. Huh? You have to be careful when you're getting insurance of any kind. Even here in Canada, you have to read the fine print because it doesn't always cover everything you think it does. So, but anyways, we're not going to get into a debate about healthcare and health insurance and all that. Yeah, it's 60% in taxes that you're paying. So, but like I said, I'd rather pay a little bit here and a little bit there than have a $3,000 bill at the end of the day. So, anyways, that's just my thoughts.
Taxes. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of
Taxes,
taxes.
huh?
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, that's why I was saying it's not really free. You're just not paying it right away. That's pretty much the only difference.
Yeah, I would rather pay than tax than upfront.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, it comes to the same difference. You know what I mean? You're still paying the same amount. It's just a question of, okay, when do you want to pay it? Do you want to pay it all in one shot or a little bit by little bit? So.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah, here you don't have to pay it though. You just don't pay it on your credit.
Well, that's it exactly. I've heard too many stories of people declaring bankruptcy because of their health care. It's and I'd hate to see people do that, but again, this is just my personal opinion. I have nothing against trash can or the U.S. That's just not how I would like things to happen for people. That you have to declare bankruptcy just to get rid of that healthcare bill. But anyways, like I said, it's just my personal opinion, right? So
we have the middle child over here.
Did your son come with his girlfriend, or not at all?
No, in the chat,
No.
Joel, the middle child.
Oh, Joel. Okay. Hey, Joel, how you doing? All right. So I won't go any much longer because I am seeing the time, and I think it's the end of the day. Yeah,
Okay,
getting late.
dear.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, Joel. I'm sorry. As soon as you come, I don't want to be that person that makes it sound like as soon as you come, we're leaving. It's not because of you, Joel. It's late. It's 11:20 for me, and I think it's 10:20 for you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sorry for now. You got me mixed up because for a second I want to call you trash can. I'm like, no, that's not right.
I don't
That's not even anywhere close to being right.
Trash can Wally.
But yes, Joel, it was a really great conversation, Joel, that you missed. But no, but thank you, Lashes Journey, for coming up on the panel and for having this little talk. And
you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So give baby a big hug and kiss. Give Kurt a big hug and kiss, and of course, give the rest of the family a very, very, very big hug and kiss.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah, and make sure to go live.
Good night.
YouTube, go live so we can all see the fireplace either tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay.
Okay, tomorrow morning. Are you
Tomorrow
going live
morning.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah, at I think 8 o'clock, 8:30. I said it for, if I remember correctly. I'll
Okay.
be finishing to watch the Cowboy Bebop series that I was telling you about, and so yeah, so that'll be my
In the morning?
no at night, 8 o'clock at night. But I have it. I have it set up already. So I think if you go onto my channel, you should see. You should see my previews. I can check now, but I'm pretty sure I set it for 8 o'clock, either 6 or 8, something like that. I usually have it in the evening, one way or the other. So, but yeah, so that'll be my live for
Okay.
tomorrow, and then next week I'll set up a few lives. Not too many, because obviously I want to consider the fact that it is the Christmas holidays and all that for everybody. So yeah, but I will have a few lives on Sunday.
It's okay. We'll be there.
Of course. Of course.
We'll
I
be
know. I
peeking
know
and
you're
watching.
That's it. I know my Miss Manager. I know you're always there supporting me as much as I support you as well. So,
Yes, thank you.
all right, my
Teamwork
dear.
make the dream work.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Teamwork makes the dream works. Definitely, definitely. All right, my dear. So
Yes.
I'll let you off
Okay.
on that. And I
All
know you want
right.
to
Bye
spend some
bye.
time with
Thank
your
you.
family. You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you for coming. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye, chat. Bye,
My
everyone in the
pleasure.
chat.
So that's it for tonight, guys. Big thank you again to Lashes Journey for being here. Thank you, Pure Prondian, for being here. Thank you, Trash Can Waves. Even though you were late, Joel, it's okay. I still love you, and I still thank you for spending even a couple of minutes for me. Hopefully, please do watch this episode in the replay. Leave a comment letting me know if you liked it or not. Um, Sorry I couldn't spend more time with you, Joel, but I'm glad to spend any amount of time with you, even if it's just a couple of minutes. Thank you as well too. Let's scroll up to see who else was here, because I did see a few new faces as well. Thank you, of course, Kurt Russell, and I'm glad for once it was the real Kurt Russell actually speaking. Thank you, Kurt, for spending some time with me and asking questions. It's always nice to hear from you, the real you. Thank you, Natasha Vincent, as well, for coming and spending some time. Thank you, Kareen, for also coming in and spending some time with us. Thank you to the amazing MNG for spending a few minutes with us. Of course, there was Lashes. Of course, there was Mrs. B. Finesse, who stopped by briefly to spend a little bit of time. Of course, there was Before the Billions. I know you were probably still in the back listening, so thank you, Before the Billions, for your continued support. And Shakespearean Lion, I'm pretty sure you're still listening, like I said. Sunday, you will be at the French lesson because you haven't showed up, and I want to make sure you're still practicing. Je veux que tu me comprends quand je dis qu'est-ce que je dis. I want you to still understand what I just said, right? So you're going to show up Sunday, 7:30 for my French lesson, all right? Or else I'm going to haunt you in your lives and speak nothing but French. Okay. Let's see. I know there was a couple other people that I saw. Oh yeah, Blood Battered Wings. Thank you for coming in and stopping by with us. Oh yeah, Community Solutions Pro. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Thank you for spending your time with me. And I think there was somebody else, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, Peter M. Investor. Thank you for being here. And I think that's about most. Oh yeah, Dazalee Wilkerson. Thank you for being here. So thank you guys for spending your time with me tonight. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Hey, Wealth Talk Production. We're talking about you before. Lashes was having a little hard time distinguishing between you and Trash Can Waves. It was absolutely hilarious, but we love you whether you come in late or not. I'm wrapping things up right now. Uh, Wally, but thank you for being here and stopping by, even if it's just for a couple moments at the end of the show. So we talked about Edgar Allan Poe and his poem The Raven. I hope that you watch this on the replay. I hope, because we did play the audible version of the poem, and I found the audible version quite interesting and fun to listen to. Oh, Wally, you're gonna have to catch the replay if you want to know what we said about you, Wally. It was lots of horrible things. No, we didn't say anything bad about you. It's just Lashes every time she wants to say Trash Can Wave, she's trying to call him Wally, and it's like, it was just more funny more than anything else, and it got contagious where every time I want to say Lashes, I want to say Trash Can Wave. So don't worry, we weren't saying anything. We weren't saying anything bad. Don't worry about that. We love you no matter what. But yeah, so that's about it for me tonight. It's almost 11:30, and I'm glad that I spent a couple hours with you guys tonight, talking about Edgar Allan Poe. Next week, I hope, dear God, I know I've been promising this for the past 3 weeks to finally finish reading, I should say, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I know I've been saying that for the past 2-3 weeks. I'm having a hard time reading that book. It's not as interesting as I thought it would be. So I'm really struggling. For me, I'm the kind of reader, if I'm not interested in a book, I really have to force myself to read it. So hopefully with the next couple weeks that I have a couple days off, I'll be able to finally get through that book. So I'm going to end this stream as I usually do, guys. I don't think I'm telling you guys anything you don't already know. If there's somebody that you haven't said, I love you to, if there's somebody that you haven't hugged in a while, or that you simply haven't spoken to, you haven't said hi to, now's the time to do it, guys. Don't be shy. It's never too late to say to somebody, I love you. Even if they're already canceled. Go take a moment to visit their grave, leave them a few flowers, um, pray, whatever you need to do. Now's the time to tell somebody that you love them, right? So go do that. Lashes Journey, you have a big family. You can tell them, go to Kurt now and tell him how much you love him. Don't be afraid, Kurt, to tell Lashes, I love you. Right? Go give a big hug and kiss to your kids. Same thing with the rest of you guys. If you have children, if you have spouses, if you have friends, I'm sure they would all love to hear I love you. And of course, I have another troll, Sandra Fisher, coming in to troll me at the last minute. But anyways, so make sure, guys, you tell somebody that you love them and give them a big hug and kiss. And if you're having a hard time saying that it's from you, just pretend that it's, oh, you know what? She stole my thunder. She wants to tell you that she loves you. And give them a big hug for me. Okay, guys? How about that? All right. So have a great night, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the streams, either my own, Lashes, Trash Can Waves. You need to start posting some lives, buddy. I miss your lives. Wealth Talk Productions. I know I'm going to catch you on one of your streams as well. So I hope to see you guys sometime tonight or tomorrow during the weekend. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a great night and make sure to tell somebody that you love them. Bonsoir. Good night, guys.